21st April 2021, there is no hyphen. Do we rely on yours or the present letter for your record? Thank you, Chair.
My name comes with a hyphen. It's a compound name.
Why, the presidency didn't ask for your CV? Or this one, you were not approached? Okay. It comes with a hyphen, so we should rely on the hyphen name. Chairman is noted. Thank you.
Very well. In Parliament, this is your fifth term. What committees have you served on?
In Parliament, I have served throughout the fifth term on the Public Accounts Committee. Throughout the 5 terms that I've been in Parliament, I've been a member of the Public Accounts Committee. And also, I've served throughout the same period also on the Lands and Forestry Select Committee, except when I was nominated as the Deputy Minister in 2017. Then I had to stand down.
Obiamwa is Senior Deputy Minister. Are you coming to contest him as a Senior Deputy Minister? Is that your intention? Unlucky you. But may I refer you, Chairman, to his CV? Member of Parliament, Chuman Wabeja North Constituency. So it means that as of 5th January midnight, you are not member of Parliament. Is that right? Yes. 2021, you are no longer member of Parliament. Watch your CV. I know, Chairman. Watch your CV. All your tenures entered December 2020. Is that appropriate?
No, I would say it's an oversight.
So seek chairman's leave and amend same and submit same back to chairman. So it runs through. Just for the record, we should have some administrative details. What's a unique feature of the new lands law that you help your outgone minister to pass? What's its uniqueness? What about it do you remember?
I would say it's very unique and it was long overdue. The good thing is that for years back, we were grappling with so many different laws in terms of land administration in Ghana. And there was the need for us to consolidate them all as one mother law. The interesting bits of it is that it has critically looked at almost all issues in land administration. For instance,
share the issues.
Yeah.
Don't speak
for
wholesale.
instance,
share the issues.
For instance, in my view, the most critical one happened to be the mention of and the provision in there on the criminalization of land guards. That is an important provision in there. But then, not only that, we also have in there the issue of vested lands. And it has also affirmed the position that vested lands must be divested back to the pre-acquisition owners. And then also issues of spousal property rights, which Mr. Chairman was very, very active in his promulgation, is also in there. So there are a lot of issues, and it actually has consolidated everything in there, and which in the long term is going to help with land administration in Ghana.
Do you see anything wrong with Article 20 of the Constitution, which deals with matters of compulsory land acquisition? Worked with the ministry all these years. I just want you to share your view. whether something needs to be done about it to improve it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The issue of compulsory acquisition is very, very topical, and it needs to be looked at critically, because the major difficulties that we find in compulsory acquisition, especially in terms of compensation payments, happens to do with especially those who, at the end of the day, we can term as owners of the land. Ownership usually and almost all the time becomes a big issue because quite often most of our schools and the clans and family lands are always litigating on ownership of land. At the same time, when it comes to compensation, we are aware that governments also there's always a shift in focus by governments in terms of prioritization of the projects. For instance, a government may come and then that government may see a particular project for which there has been compulsory acquisition, and then the compensation that we need to pay it, that government may see it as not much of a priority to the government because of that particular project by which the compensation is being paid for. And
Chairman, I like his education, but be specific. The state, you are going to be an interface between the state. You are going to be an interface between the state relating to traditional authorities of chiefs who have vested interest in lands, some of whom are holding their interest in trust for their people. The state acquires a land. The state fails to pay compensation. The same state fails to reach out to them as original owners and is selling out the lands. Do you consider that appropriate? And what will you do if you get there in assisting your minister to address this?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the issue of lands that have been compulsorily acquired, for which compensation have been paid or not paid, but which along the way some are granted out for different purposes or for different use. Mr. Chairman, I would say it depends on the particular reason for which there's been a change of use. Because I would add that almost invariably, every use, so far as it's for public use, is important. Today, the state may need a particular land for the use as an airport. But then, as we move on, that use may no more be necessary, and as such, the state can change the use into a school so far as it's for public usage. And even if it's sold, even if it's transferred to an independent party, so far as that person is going to put up an accommodation unit on it, we must understand that that accommodation unit, provision of accommodation or residential houses, is also the duty of the state. And so far as someone is going to put up an accommodation unit by virtue of land that has been given to him from the state and is going to use it for that purpose, I would say that purpose also serves
Chairman, that's why I have we are not to disagree. It's purpose of vetting. But I see, if you allow the chief to sell directly to the private owner, the chief is better off. You are coming in with the state authority, take the land from the chief, go and sell it as if you are a profit-making entity. Do you consider that appropriate? That's my question. The state. That's why you have Ghana chiefs, Ghana youths expressing disquiet about the way some of the lands are being given out. And Chairman, in my own constituency now, Tamale, the timber market, and I would encourage you and your minister to pay a visit just around Abu market in Tamale, where timber dealers have their livelihood. They wake up one day and they are told that there is a consideration that they have to move. Move to where? When you want to affect livelihoods, you must provide alternative for them. But generally, is that the purpose for which the land was acquired? Is it within the land law that you help your minister pass?
Yes, the land law also affirms that position, that so far as it will be used for a public good, then the law allows that to happen. But my view will be that so far as compensation has been paid, then the state can use it.
Where compensation has not
where
been paid?
compensation has not been paid, then in doing that, the consideration of the allodia owners must also be factored in.
Right, Chairman, Deputy Minister for Lands and Forestry, burning of excavators, is it lawful? And which section of the law you want to quote for my purpose this morning? You'll be minister, you'll be advising the president on some of these matters. You know a law which allows for the burning of excavators in Ghana?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, with your permission, I would like to quote from the Constitution. And to be precise, Article 36(9). Yeah, 36(9). And with your permission, I read, the state shall take appropriate measures needed to protect and safeguard the national environment for posterity. And I'll emphasize, appropriate measures needed to protect and safeguard the national environment for posterity.
Appropriate measures include burning.
It says appropriate measures.
I say appropriate measures. Does that include burning? I haven't seen the word burning anywhere in the 1992 Constitution. So your definition of appropriate measures.
Appropriate can include.
Okay,
in such a circumstance, we are in extraordinary circumstances. And extraordinary circumstances call for extraordinary measures.
And burning is extraordinary measure.
It is extraordinary measure.
Are you aware that in quoting the Constitution, you are to do so in accord with the Constitution and the laws of Ghana? What you just quoted is to be done in accordance with the Constitution. And that a Ghanaian has the right to own an excavator. And before you have the right to burn it, you must do so in accordance with law.
You, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I would also want to quote from the Local Governance Act, 2016.
Mr. Chair, flowing from your, before you quote, Honorable Nominee, the issue is that when somebody engages in illegal mining, the state confiscates or seizes that property. Correct? That's the law. Answer, please. I'm saying that answer, your response must be captured. I'm saying that is the law.
That is the law.
Yes, and I remember we did that amendment to the law in 2015, thereabout, where we gave the state the power to confiscate. That does not require a court order. So once you are caught or it's identified that you are using this machine for this purpose, it is seized and same becomes the property of the state.
This is the law.
Yes,
but then, that is the law.
Let's leave it there. Yes, you are quoting something. You proceed.
And Chairman, to remind the deputy leader that confiscation is not synonymous to burning.
Yes,
Mr.
you are
Chairman,
quoting the Local Governance
Mr.
Act.
Chairman, I would want to proceed by explaining a little bit on what the leader just said. Yes, the law says when you come across an excavator being used illegally, you must confiscate it. Yes, and then take it to the nearest police station and go to court, all that. There are processes. But in the current circumstances, for instance, the operation halt personnel get to the river, close to the river body, and then they get to the forest reserve, and these machines that they come across have already been immobilized by the perpetrators of the acts, whether the owners or the operators who are using it. And they get there and find nobody on the site. Yes, they have to remove them from there, impound them. But then an excavator that cannot be moved, what it means is that you cannot put it on a low bed and transport it away.
So what do you do to it?
So they decommission it. They decommission it.
I like that word. You decommission it so that it cannot be commissioned further.
That it cannot perpetrate any further illegality.
Have you paid royalties to the one who first used demobilize, but at least not burning? Chairman, so whilst at this, I've taken note of his responses to the matter of burning excavators. Now, the Honorable Deputy Leader in an earlier question was essentially concerned about something which is very significant for the investment drive of the country and for positioning Ghana as an investment destination. And I was particularly excited that the land bill was introduced into Parliament and passed into law, because it's one of the denominators that investors use in measuring our ease of doing business. But there's still concern that in coming to Ghana to do business, whether you are going to farm, private sector, to go into real estate, there are still concern about access of title to land. What will you do to minimize the time and transaction costs in assisting your minister to reduce the time and transaction costs for the acquisition of land title to improve the ease of doing business? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, there are two major forms of title or registration in Ghana. The first one is deed registration. And with deed registration, we have it only in Greater Accra and just some selected areas in Kumasi. The remainder then of the entire country is deeds. Deeds are not in these places. That is Greater Accra and the selected areas in Kumasi. But all the remainder are under deeds. And under deeds, we don't have too much of a challenge or a problem with registration, because you can get your deed registration within 2 to 4 weeks. But the major challenge we face is land title, which happens to be in Greater Accra and portions of Kumasi. Why we have this is that for you to have efficient and quicker transaction in land title, you must, first of all, have an accurate, accessible, and up-to-date data. As we speak now, efforts have been made through the land administration project so that we can get to that point. But what we've done previously is not very enough. So currently, what we have is that we still have manual systems of transaction where most of the documents are still in the manual form. Secondly, we also have available to the Lands Commission very old maps, very old topographical maps. That is what they're using, as old as 1974. But, Mr. Chairman, you and I know that even today, a Google map description of an area tomorrow will not be the same. So if you have old maps dating far back as 1974, then it becomes difficult for you to be able to use them to enhance and deliver title as fast as possible. So as we speak now, I have information from the ministry that they are working to ensure that very soon they will be able to digitize the documentations, all the documents at the...
I'm sorry, when you say they, you are going there as Deputy Minister. When you say they, who are you referring to?
When I get your nod, I will join them.
Very well. So now you're outside them. Very well. Okay, I can proceed with Eric, Honorable Eric goes. After that, I'll come to you, Mama Pat.
My name is not Eric Uzu.
Sorry, did I say Eric Osu?
Yes.
That is most unfair to you. Having been school prefect at Belkwa SD and regional minister, I should know your name. Sorry.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Honorable Benito, can you brief this committee the status of the afforestation projects that your ministry started when you were the deputy minister?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, afforestation development has been going on for years. Various governments that have come have all done their bits in trying to green Ghana more and to make sure that they afforest Ghana. Mr. Chairman, as I speak now, is in two parts. We have the afforestation drive being done by the ministry through the Forestry Commission, and then also that being done by the private plantation developers. Mr. Chairman, previously, before 2016, and with your permission, I would want to quote some figures. In 2016, 5,389.64 hectares together was done by the ministry. And in 2017, under our watch, that is under the ministry's watch, 13,213 hectares of plantation development and afforestation was added on. And in 2018, 24,787.56 hectares was the addition that was added. And in 2019, 25,581.52. We don't have the figures yet for 2020, as we all know, due to the COVID pandemic scenario. So, as we speak, we are still collecting the data for 2020. But we are aware the figure for 2020 would, by all means, suffer some reduction due to the fact that during the COVID time, nobody was in the forest planting. everybody was scared and they were all at home. Yes. And so because of that, in 2021, the ministry has realized that it is important that we aggressively increase our forest cover. And we are doing that both through the Forestry Commission and also private plantation developers, and with the addition of the Green Ghana Project Initiative. I know honorable members have all been invited to participate. And very soon we will start it. We intend planting 5 million trees. The Ghana Education Service has joined us and is partnering us. They claim they will be able to do 5 million on their own through the students and then the pupils in our various schools. At the same time, the various religious bodies have also come on board. The Church of Pentecost has promised to also do a 1.2, and the Church of Pentecost is also going to do 1 million. Various chiefs, including the entire National House of Chiefs, are also on board. The whole idea of this particular project is to inculcate the habit of tree planting and also the culture of nurturing trees to ensure that they reach their gestation period. So that is why we are doing this. And these are some of the measures that we are employing to make sure that we increase our forest cover. At the same time, we are fighting galamsey, especially galamsey in the forest reserves. And that is also another measure by which we are addressing to reduce the incidence of deforestation in Ghana.
Honorable nominee, in your earlier answer, you decided to use they. And when the chairman asked you, you said, because you are not part of them yet. But this one, you are talking about we. What do you mean by that?
Yes. The minister, the Honorable Samuel Abujinapo, has invited me to help in this particular project and has made me the chairperson of the planning committee. And that is why I'm using we. So with this, I'm part.
What about reclaiming the lands that have been destroyed by illegal mining? What proposals are being considered to enable us reclaim the degraded land?
During our first tenure, we realized there was the need for us to reclaim the devastated lands. And so we went to public procurement that for permission to do a model, a pilot program, because as a state, we as a country have never undertaken reclamation projects before. It's been done by the private mining companies, but not the state. So we decided to run a pilot scheme, and that was successful. It was done around the Chebi area. It was successful, after which we planted palm trees. Now that we've done this pilot scheme and we have this, what we intend doing, should I go there and join them in the ministry with your note? What we intend doing there when I get there is to solicit and then solicit for funds, because reclamation is very expensive. We've been told that to be able to reclaim all the lands that has been devastated in Ghana would run into billions of dollars. And as such, we know that our country is not endowed with so much funds for us to use, for us to be able to undertake a total and a complete reclamation project like that. So once funds flow in, we are soliciting the help of donors and also the World Bank The World Bank has been gracious enough and has committed some amount towards this project. But what they have committed is not enough. But we will begin with that. We will begin with that.
My last question. I would like to refer to Article 257, Clause 6. That says that every mineral in its natural state, in, under, or upon any land in Ghana, rivers, streams, watercourses throughout Ghana, the exclusive economic zone, and any area covered by the territorial sea or continental shelf is the property of the Republic of Ghana and shall be vested in the President on behalf of and in trust for the people of Ghana. So you see that all mineral resources within the boundaries of Ghana is vested in the President in trust for the people of Ghana. It is for this reason that the President appointed you as a Deputy Minister to support your minister to ensure that these resources are protected for posterity. Unfortunately, under your watch, these resources have been destroyed to levels unknown to the history of this country. What different can you offer to ensure that these resources are well protected for the upcoming generation so that the President can be credited for having discharged this duty very well?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, under our watch, yes, there has been some devastation before. But before then, it was what there was. We came to meet a scenario where when you drove from Kumasi, that is Anyankwanta Junction, to Bodie in the western region, both left and right of the road, within 100 meters, you will meet or see an excavator just digging. That is what we came to meet. And so our first fight or first measures against illegal mining came to arrest that particular and came to address that issue. We placed the ban for over 1 year on illegal, on even mining in Ghana. That is small-scale mining in Ghana. The ban was placed, and for 1 year, nobody was mining. After that, the President set up the Interministerial Mining Committee, and that helped with coordination between all the various ministries that have something to do and a role to play in mining. We also moved on to the training of some of these illegal miners. We trained them in good practices and responsible mining.
You train illegal miners in good practice?
Yes, some of the galamseyers, yes, we train them in good practices and responsible mining at University of Mines in Takwa. Mining schemes. 20 schemes was introduced.
Mr. Chairman, he just said University of Mines. Do we still have University of Mines?
It's Mines and Technology in Takwa, now named Power Grant University. So, yeah, we did a training, did a community mining schemes, and then we went for an election. A new regime has come. Fortunately, it's that of Nanado Dankwa Akufo-addo, who has affirmed his position, his previous position, that he is against irresponsible mining. Most important moral booster for whoever or those who are fighting against illegal mining, because that the political world that the president has shown is spurring us on. That to the extent that when we get there, we are going to help the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. And we are not going to mince, we are not going to a bit about the bush regarding this. We are going to help him to ensure that we stop illegal mining in Ghana.
Honorable, take your time. You only to assist the minister. So,
yes, that's why I'm saying I'm going to help him.
So just tell us what you support your minister so we save time.
And so currently there's been a new focus. The current focus is that we've designated two red zones, and that is the forest reserves and the river bodies and water bodies. That's where we are now. But that is good because it makes us focus on just these two areas. And then you don't fight the entire illegality on all fronts. And this is really helping. As we speak now, the Minerals Commission has just deployed and distributed some equipment that is going to, in future, and also those who are working legally, is going to help them to mine without the usage of mercury and other dangerous chemicals.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Patricia Pejay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Congratulations, Honorable Benito, for your re-nomination as the Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. Honorable nominee, your minister, when he attended to this House, acknowledged that Ghana has enough commercial deposits of salts in addition to other minerals, which he believes should be exploited to the benefit of our citizens, and promised us that he would develop a robust salt mining industry to maximize its economic potential. Honorable nominee, do you share his view? And if yes, how are you going to assist him to achieve his promise? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, the minister said that, and it's true that we are endowed with a lot of salt deposits. I've been informed by the ministry that as we speak now, the minister has set up a committee that is going to come up with a proposal for the establishment of a salt development authority, just in line with that of the Aluminium Development Authority, GIADEC, and also the Iron and Steel Development Authority, because we should have a focus on it so that we can unearth the potential of salt in Ghana. So I am going there to support him to be able to achieve that.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. The growth of bamboo and rattan is one of the ways to ensure that we can also maximize our economic value as a country. If given the nod, how do you intend to assist the minister to enhance this growth and also create awareness within the agriculture sector or forestry sector so that we'll have quite a sizable number of our people indulging in that?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the growth of the bamboo industry in Ghana is very dear to my heart. I am a lover of bamboo. And I feel that it is important that, yes, I feel that it is important that emphasis is placed
bamboo is dear to your heart, and your wife is dear to what?
I am a lover of it. Yes, you are. Yes, okay. I am a lover of bamboo. I love bamboo because of its uses. There are over 1,000 plus uses for bamboo. And there are so many varieties of bamboo. So, fortunately, during the last tenure, when I was made the deputy minister, I happened to attend a conference in China where at that time I was the vice chairperson for the International Association of Bamboo Society, which we call IMBA. But that was my last chairing, and after which an election was held. But the most important thing was that it actually opened my eyes for me to understand how China, as a country, is benefiting from bamboo. China earns over $60 billion from bamboo. The economy of the province of Hangzhou is all based on bamboo. They are able to raise revenue of over 12 billion from bamboo products alone. So I came back, and fortunately for us, at the Forestry Commission, we do have a department there called Baradep. That's the Bamboo and Rattan department. And I have been in contact with them. We have developed a project where we intend bringing into Ghana some of the various varieties of bamboo that we don't have here, but which we think will help us. For instance,
Honorable Nominee, you may be brief. You are only assisting your minister. Yes, so you may be brief. Because your colleagues are anxious and members want to have lunch.
Yeah. Yes. For instance, if you drive past cantonments, the Kumoji area, those who do the baskets and then the rattan furniture over there, what they actually need is the bamboos with the long internode. That is not a native to Ghana. Currently, we have imported seeds of that particular bamboo, and we are growing them so that they can be available to them. I personally have brought into Ghana, with the help of FORIG, that is the Forest Research Institute, the species known as the Dendrocalibos gigantes and the Dendrocalibos asper. I've brought them into Ghana so that we can grow them here because of, for instance, its size and its uses. It's the tallest bamboo we have in the world, the gigantes. And the president will be planting one at the Jubilee House on June 11th. We'll bring in one seed for him to plant there for everybody to see, because it's very interesting to see how big and tall it is. It grows to a height of 40 to 50 meters high. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Chair, I'd like to know from the nominee, how does bamboo address the issue of climate change? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, bamboo is an alternative wood product. It can be used as an alternative. And as such, if we had more bamboo here and then we introduce its usage to Ghanaians, it will help reduce the cutting and the felling of a lot of our trees in Ghana. For instance, currently, most people use bamboo as construction props. Previously, we were using wawa poles for that, but currently we are using bamboo props. And this has to be encouraged. By so doing, we don't place more burden on our forest resources. Also, bamboo is a grass. It grows fast. Mr. Speaker, it's the only plant that you can watch it and see it growing. Bamboo is the only plant that you can see it in that form. And as such, because it grows faster, at 5 years, you can harvest it. And so bamboo can help to serve as an alternative wood product for most of our wood uses. And also, currently it's expensive. There are a lot of people who are making a lot of revenue out of bamboo. A pole in Accra at Moose cost around 3 cedis. And one calm, that is one plant of bamboo with all its various stands, you can get over between 50 to 100 calms. So if you plant one and you have that 50 to you can, when you harvest, you can break into into about 3 parts. So that will give you 150. 150 by 3 cedis, that is 450 cedis from one bamboo shoot. So it's important that we encourage even our youth for some of them to go into bamboo production.
Yes, Nilan Vanderpool.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. I want to take you back to the vexatious issue of mining. And I want to ask, who is a galamsey, who is a small-scale miner, and who is a licensed miner, and what makes any of these people illegal miners?
One, a galamsey is an illegal miner. The galamsey is an illegal miner. And even if you are a small-scale miner and you don't make sure you have all the necessary permits, the licenses, and you move straight away to mine, you are doing an illegality, and so you are a galamsey. You can have all the permits, you can have all the licenses, but then you end up working close to the river within the 100-meter distance. If you do that, then you are a galamsey. Also, if you, without any permit, you move into the forest reserve and you mine, or even if you have an entry permit into the forest reserve, what you have may be a reconnaissance license or a prospecting license, and you do not conform to the rules of prospecting, but rather move straight away to mine, you are a galamsey and an illegal miner.
Mr. Chairman, in an answer to the question posed by my leader on compulsory acquisition of land, compensations, and the rest, assuming you own, or your family, or your traditional area own a land, or acres of land, tracts of land, and 99 years ago, government acquired it and paid 20 pence as compensation. Then today, government, because the land has appreciated in value, government decides to sell the land at commercial rates to individuals. What will you do?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the figure the honorable member quoted 99 years ago, maybe today that figure we can say is not of value. But then, £1, 99 years ago, its value can be worth, let's say, $1 million. And that is what we must put our mind to. Yes, compensation has been paid. If you feel aggrieved that there's going to be a change in use, yes, why not? You can petition. We've had several instances like that. And the ministry will look at it based on its merits. In certain circumstances, yes, the allodial owners have been considered and they have been given back some portions of land just to serve as extra, I would say extra compensation, because they have been paid compensation anyway. Yeah, so I'll try my luck. Also petition the ministry and see what will happen. But I would say I have been already settled with the amount that was paid 99 years ago.
Chair, I'm permitted for a follow-up on that. Okay. The principle of automatic release of leased lands, especially within the Greater Accra region, and particularly within the LA, Traditional Council jurisdiction. Was 4 years ago you were aware that that principle was adopted. What has happened that all of a sudden government is reneging on that principle, which has resulted in tension, clashes between the indigenous people of La and government agencies?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I would say that the current tension was due to the fact that there was some bit of misunderstanding on the previous arrangement that, or the stage of discussion that they reached. The Honorable Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, when these issues started happening recently, invited me to the ministry because he wanted to know from me the position that the ministry took. Yes, there were records of all meetings that were held at the ministry. And we went through that with the La Traditional Council also at the table. And we all agreed that yes, we did not come to a finality. And so there was need for more discussion. As we speak now, the minister has made me to chair that particular committee that is handling the issue. If you can cast your mind back, after the disturbances, and then now there's calm on the front. There's calm. There is no noise going on. Why? Because we are meeting them.
There's no protest or noise. What do you call noise, Mr. Nominee?
Oh, there was some bit of noise and protest.
And you still want to stand by the use of the word noise?
No, I stand to be corrected.
Thank you. Continue.
Yes. So the protests have stalled. The military and the La Traditional Council, together with the ministry and Lands Commission, are still at the table. We visited the site in contention. Surveyors have surveyed there. The military have shown us what they are doing there. And soon, a complete report will come out. And I know it will be acceptable to all parties.
My last two. Mr. Nominee, it looks like all of us for now, our attention is focused on Galamsey, Galamsey, Galamsey. But if you should pay a visit to places like, okay, let me say the coastal regions,
soil. When you remove the topsoil, at the end of the day, the land can no more be used for agricultural purposes, and that is a harm. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Very well. Is anybody here? No. I'll take one last. Oh, Honorable Obama. Very well. After that, I'll take one last year, and then we'll bring this one to.
Chairman, I have only one question, and I want to congratulate my brother on his appointment. He's a very senior colleague in Parliament, and I just want to ask him, he was at the forefront of the passage of the Lands Act. Actually, he did a yeoman's job with Honorable Adabo. I want to find out whether you've identified some challenges or you can envisage some challenges with the implementation of that beautiful legislation, the Lands Act. Whether you got the question right.
I do.
Chairman, that's my only question. Thank you.
I do. We are yet to actually fully operationalize the Act. At the moment, the ministry is working towards getting a regulation as quickly as possible to back this Act, to bring it into operation. So I would say we are in early days now, so we have to just give some time to see what will come across. We have started receiving some petitions, not just petitions, but some members and memoranda.
Right. Congratulations. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, Deputy Minister Designate, this thing about a law is not fully enforced, I disagree with you, and for the record, once the President assigns it to it, it is enforced. If there's any portion that needs regulation, that regulation would be used to facilitate the other part. But for now, if you procure land and you don't state that it is for you and not you and your spouse, it will be assumed that it's for you and your spouse. So that part is always interesting to me.
Yeah, for the correction.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I wasn't supposed to ask the nominee a question, so I will just make it one question. Congratulations, honorable nominee. But let me find out from you. You were at the ministry that you are returning as deputy minister if the House so approves. When the ministry, together with other ministries, engage in the fight against Galamsey, that got botched with a lot of very unpleasant things happening with regard to the fight. The missing Galamsey, the missing excavators and all of that. Again, we have issues relating to land that was supposed to have been returned to the La people, not returned to the La people. I am aware there is a committee that you are supposed to be chairing in relation to the land around the Burma camp area. These are all residual things that the current ministry is going to be dealing with. But you were there when it all started. So the Galamsey fight was botched. The land issues are many, including the civil aviation area lands and all of that. What assurance will you give this committee that you were not part of the problems then and you will be part of the solution in future?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I would like to say that I have never been part of a problem. I have always been part of the solution to the botched up attempt. I would say it wasn't botched up. There were a lot of successes that were choked. And this second fight against illegal mining is going on with some of these measures that were put in place with additions. The most important one that I feel is happening now is to do with stakeholder engagement and educating. That is education and educating the people who are involved or were involved in Galamsey. Currently, the buy-in of the entire National House of Chiefs have been sought. We've been to meet all our paramount chiefs. We have even started town hall meetings. One has been done in Takwa, and another one had been done in Kumasi. We intend to reciprocate it across the country. And also, we are going to expand and increase the number of community mining schemes, because that we have realized is a very good alternative, because under the community mining schemes, you can bring together artisanal miners, train them, put them in an area that has already been proven to have some gold resources, and monitor them and ensure that they do the right thing, having in mind and in consideration all the necessary safety measures. This is going on, and I think we are going to, and I believe we are going to achieve what we intend doing by ridding this country of illegal mining.
Thank you. You're done. Thank you. Yes, final one here, then I'll close the
Chairman, nominee, colleague in Parliament, I have a quiet name for him, and he knows the name. Forestry cover of the Republic of Ghana in fast depletion, very worrying for the sustainability of the environment. What plans do you have to assist the minister to improve Ghana's forestry cover? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, at the beginning of the century, we had 8.2 million hectares of forest cover, and this included the 1.6 million hectares of dedicated forest estates. Currently, and from the 80s till now, we have depleted our forest cover to the extent that we now have about 4.6 million hectares. These 4.6 million hectares, Mr. Chairman, out of that we have the 1.6 forest
Chairman, you are sharing statistics with me. What will you do to assist your minister to improve it?
Oh, yes. Previously and now, I'm aware the ministry has come up with several projects that is going to help to increase the forest cover of the country.
Name one of those
One
projects.
of them have
one
to do
specificity.
One of them had to do with ensuring that, for instance, trees are planted on almost every cocoa farm. Because why this is important is that cocoa farms are out of forest
It's all right.
reserves.
We know when he wanted the specific. As
So
for
I've
why
given
it
it
is
to
important,
Okay.
can you leave that for now?
Okay.
Chairman, when he got to cocoa farms, he was opening his eyes to threaten me. Allowances of workers at the Forestry Commission. Is government in arrears? The young people working in the Forestry Commission.
Yes, government is in arrears.
For how many months?
It used to be 5 months, but as we speak now, 1 month has been paid, and I have been assured by the minister that the Ministry of Finance has promised to get them 2 months by the end of next week 2 months payment by the end of next week.
Are they NAPCO employees at the Forestry Commission, or they were just recruited directly?
These are not NAPCO employees. These are youth that were recruited at the various district level.
Have their number?
It used to be around 54,000, but currently it's gone down to 45,000. This is because some of them, through their own volition, have weaned themselves off the program. And so we have reduced the number.
Chairman, I should leave it here, but just to draw Minister's attention, I have Labarga on the Yendi Road. There is a forest reserve there that the people think that it's been kind of abandoned. And I'm sure in many other areas of the country, you may have similar situations. The Morley Game Reserve, what's the status of it? And what are you doing to use it as an attractive tourist destination for our country? As you drive through, you just still see that some of the road, beyond what was done, Damongo Solar Road, is still not in good shape. What plans do you have, the ministry, and what's the status of it? It's now called Zina, I believe, Zina Lodge. Thank you, Chair.
Zina Lodge, Mr. Chairman, is a facility on the Morley Game Reserve. It is not the new name of the reserve. It's just a facility that is there. The issue about roads, the ministry is in touch with the Ministry of Tourism and then also Ministry of Roads and Highways to work on the roads. One particular good initiative that went on during the past 4 years was the issue of inventory of the animals on the Morley Game Reserve. It was important because in trying to sell the reserve outside the shores of Ghana, we had to, first of all, know the number of animals there and the species of animals there. So that inventory was undertaken, and also we needed that particular inventory so that the reserve can then be accepted as a UN heritage reserve. And so that has been done now. For your information, we now have more elephants than we thought we had. And that is a good thing.
Why are you interested in elephants and not antelopes, Chairman?
The more elephants you have,
giraffes.
the better for Ghana.
Yet when you see the animal, you are frightened. Even you run. Thank you, Chairman.
Very well. I am supposed to close. I didn't have a question, but Honorable Muntaka walked in late, and he wants to find out what you did or what use did you put the drones the ministry acquired to fight Galamsey. What did you use those drones for?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the drones were procured by the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining. They were never at the disposal of our ministry. As we speak now, they are yet to be returned, and once we receive them, we will use them as we deem fit.
Very well. I have no question of my own. I only gave a favor to Honorable Muntaka because he came in late. So, very well. I'll allow you one more question. After doing one for you, kindly ask one question.
Chairman, you know today we are managing from the chamber to the committee, and the two leaders, sometimes it's difficult for all of us to be at the same place. I wanted to find out from the Deputy Minister nominee. They set a target of 23rd June 2021 to return a lot of lands to their appropriate stools. We are just some few, maybe 3 weeks away from the said date. And he was there, very active, Deputy Minister. Where have they reached with this?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, we did not set the date that the honorable member is talking about. But then, you know, the new Lands Act, what it said was that 6 months after coming into being of this act, the Lands Commission will take steps to recommend through the minister to the president for the divesting of some vested lands in the north and other parts of Ghana. So the process is ongoing. What the act said was that steps must be taken. As we sit here now, those steps are ongoing. I have been informed by the minister.
All right. Thank you very much. Honorable Benito Zubio, thank you for attending upon the House to answer questions. You'll hear from us later. For now, you're discharged. Thank you for coming to support your son.
Mr. Chairman, can I acknowledge them?
We have stopped doing that, but because she's a member of the Council of State, I gave her the honor. Please, don't extend it for me. Thank you.
You are saying my wife. That's not my wife.
Chairman.
That's my...
Chairman, since he's interested in sitting there, can we continue the questioning? If he's interested in sitting there, then we should continue with the questioning. You are a senior member of parliament.
Oh, is that who? The MC? Oh, is that you?
Hey, but...
Hey, very well. Because we have stopped doing that, I'll see you privately. Thank you. Discharge now. Kindly bring in Honorable Obiama. Yo, Kofi, oh my,